Well, good morning, everybody. It is Heidi Kaisend and Jamie Willett here at Hen and Chick Studio in Conrad, Iowa. And we want to start your week off with some Bluebird of happiness thoughts.
You know what? Yes, Bluebird of happiness, not blueberry. I inaccurately said blueberry. I was so excited when I saw it.
But you know what? It's kind of fun because we've been calling it the blueberry line because it's such a beautiful blue collection.
It is.
We have been loving every ounce of it already. Last week we unboxed this beautiful collection. It's from Janet Nesbitt of Henry Glass. Well, her company is One Sister Designs, and she designs it for Henry Glass Fabrics. And Jamie, there are times when there are so many ideas of what to do with a collection of fabric that even we are overwhelmed. I think it's an easy way to say it. We're overwhelmed because we could go so many different directions.
And it's kind of a vicious circle that we get on because it's so much fun to have all the ideas, but then to try to narrow it down.
Correct.
And so I think on this one, we're taking a little different approach and letting them narrow it down.
That's right.
What they want to do.
Because at first, our first plan, and why don't you come on in here a little bit, Stacy? Stacy's our camera girl this morning. There are two free patterns that are given from the company. This is Bluebirds of Happiness number 1. And this is Bluebirds of Happiness number 2. And I think that this is a discussion I think that's okay for everybody to hear, is that when we get a collection in, if I'm going to cut a kit, if the store is going to cut a kit, we have to cut enough kits to warrant making a store sample. And we're already at this point, because people are loving this fabric, that we can't get enough kits cut to warrant actually physically making
the store sample.
The store sample, because again, it's just an additional expense. So we are not, the plan is right now, is that we're not going to make any store samples, but we still can kit up both of these for you if you are willing to purchase one without a store sample being seen. I think you're going to get what you see. I don't think
there's not. The beauty of this one is not making a store sample. We already have pictures provided.
Correct. We're just going to go with the pictures. So these are on our website, and there won't be very many available of each because you're all loving the fabric so much already, which it's a good problem.
It's beautiful.
It's a good problem to have. So, okay. So first of all, we can, if you are interested, kit up quilt number 1 and quilt number 2.
Now the difference in those, because we did show small pictures, quilt number 1 has the panel.
Correct. So we'll go back in here. There's panel in the center. We do believe that there's enough fabric in the kit that you could put fabric in there if you don't want the panel. This one does not use the panel at all. And size-wise, this one looks like about 76. It cut off on my thing here, but 76 by probably 76. It's probably pretty square. And this one is 82 by 82. It's very square.
This one's a little longer. It's not
maybe
quite
a little
square.
Yeah.
But those dimensions are on the website.
Yes.
Really
And the quilt number 2 is designed as an advanced beginner. We definitely think it does look simpler. This one is very doable, but more involved with that ocean wave kind of look. And so it is considered an intermediate difficulty for somebody. But if you love the quilt, let me tell you, it doesn't matter how difficult it is, we can get it done.
And so let's take a look at this panel. And I don't know if we could actually hold it out because we didn't really show this. And Stacey, I don't know if you can go from kind of block to block on this. So this is a case, Heidi, we've talked about this one too. You can get this as a panel, but you may also want this as a running yardage because it would be great for a back if you were making the quilt, backing on a quilt.
And or even running yardage in the quilt itself and the front of the quilt. Yes, it could be several different things. So we've listed the product as 2 separate products. It probably looks funny on the website, but it's SKU 11585 and then 11585A. So you'll see it literally says sold as an individual 2/3 yard cut. That means this is what you're getting. Or sold as running yardage in 2/3 yards increments. We will only sell you 2/3 times however many increments you want. We will not sell you a yard because then that would break up the panel itself. But if you buy it in the increments in the yardage, we will leave it all as one piece so that you would have the opportunity to use it in a different way. Okay? Because literally, if you got 2 panels that were not cut apart, it would be a very nice wall hanging just like that. Yeah. You could border it and it could be, be the center of your quilt. I mean, there's some very simple things that we can do.
And so this panel has really jump-started a lot of conversation between not only us, but with some customers too. Different ways to use a panel. We happen to really enjoy this panel. Well, I do. I guess I shouldn't say we. I happen to really enjoy this panel because of the messages on each block. So great way that you could even, if you were looking for a quick Christmas project, you could use each block individually. I mean, we like those frayed edges. Applique on something with a little fray around it on the pillowcase that we did Take Home Tuesday, or pot holder with the frayed edges. I've seen a lot of that as well.
Yes.
Great. That could be an opportunity.
I'm going to let you kind of hold that. We'll get a little closer together. So, again, the ideas that Jamie's running off are, again, they're endless. We can do that.
Yes.
One idea that we have seen in the last month go wild
yes.
is our October Stash Buster, which is called Square Dance. Still available for download. Still available to actually make and
Let's
upload.
See, what is today?
Today's the 8th.
So you have a week.
They have a week. And we know that this can be made in hours, but I'm gonna come up to you a little bit, Stacy, here. So in this particular quilt, and you can see that you literally could use the panels in place of these squares. So what Jamie is holding, you could put these in here. Now I believe these are 8.5-inch squares, so you might have to border them. This size is 4.5. They would be a little bit tighter. You would have to really come in.
It'd be really framing the...
It would, yes, you would lose a lot of the other stuff. But this is a free pattern. If you're not familiar with our Stash Buster program, we're not going to get into all the details of that today, but you can go to our website and click on the Stash Buster tab, find out all about it, download this free pattern, and have it. So that's, and again, we know.
I feel like, did anybody watch Home Improvement? Isn't it Home Improvement that had Wilson?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I feel like holding this up.
You're like Wilson. Okay, so you can go ahead and set it down, but let's kind of keep that panel in mind. Is that
different ways that maybe you can use a panel? Right.
So my go-to always for panels is the Terry Atkinson slideshow because it's a nice 7.5-inch square. It just always looks good. You don't have to use a panel in every one of them. You could use other fabrics, but this is it's like a no-brainer, and it does look very different every time you do it.
And if they wanted to see a sample of it, Blessings would be, I think we have one kit left of Blessings.
Actually, I believe they're gone now.
Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, they're all gone.
So I'm
so sorry about that. Yes. Yeah. Well, the quilt is still hanging, but there's no kits.
Okay.
We do have this. We do have the quilt, but there's no kits of that. So that's just I'll say a no-brainer on that one. Now, many of you, let's talk about this. Many of you that were following along with our anniversary saw how Goldie and Virginia and Jamie helped take, and I just love this, and it's my signature quilt. I just have to show you the back real quick, right? Because look at all those signatures of our fabulous customers. But here's a case where they took this panel, bordered it because to make it the correct size, and put it inside of another quilt. Now,
so we removed this center star, so you can see that there,
and that is here. Again, this is just one block.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you could. So I'm gonna float that over there. So think of then. And this pattern is now out of print, folks. If you like it, we've tried to reorder it and it's gone. So all we have is all we've got. This would be a little bit on the smaller side. The center of this is a 4.5-inch square. So you would, you'd have to trim down. This one, Saltwater Taffy by Villa Rosa. I'm going to turn it over, but I believe you cut it as a 5-inch square. Yes. And so again, it would be a little bit tighter. So it's because it finishes at 4.5.
You would just have the graphic, not the edges.
That's correct. Correct. So again, ideas with that. But then, Jamie, what is the other thing we've been so liking?
Well, the 3-yard quilts. If you have not jumped on that bandwagon, it's addictive, okay? But there's worse things to be addicted to.
That's right. That's exactly right. So come on over here, Stacy. I was going to call you Stephanie.
Okay. So what I want you to go up first a little bit, and let's get some of these fabrics, because if you're using a 3-yard bundle, that you're picking basically 3 yards of fabric. And so if you wanted to add, of course, not even using the panel, these would be beautiful 3-yard bundles, let alone stand alone by themselves.
Because literally you could pick a light, a medium, and a dark right here. It's like all the combinations go together.
Yep. And so that alone, 3-yard quilt, be adorable out of any of these things. But if you wanted to use that panel, we did go through and identify. Now I believe there was 15 blocks on the 2/3 yard cut.
That's correct.
So we went through and found some of these. Now on this particular one, each one of these you cut into 7.5, which gets you the full block of the panel, and there's 12 blocks. So you can imagine picking a couple coordinating fabrics. You'd have to add your border would be what you would need an additional yardage of, and we could figure that out to help you, because it's not a true 3-yard cut since you're getting the 2/3 out of the panel, but just a different idea. Of course, we have several now. I'm going to have to go over a little bit. So same thing here. Now you kind of have to use your imagination. If you put them in here in place of those, again, that's a little bit smaller. That's a 5.5-inch block.
Oh, but could you see like this dark floral right here in where the black is? Here, let's move this over. So I could just see like that floral in this square right there.
And then you just pair it with another one of these.
Yep, and then pick
medium tones or a neutral tone.
Just gorgeous.
And there's multiple ones in a few of these books.
Is there another one in here?
I believe there was, but I went through this morning and I was like, oh, this would work, this would work, this would work.
And sometimes when you're looking at them and like, say, for example, if that square is too big, I'm looking to see, it looks like maybe 9.5, and it's too big, you can border anything. Like, use this one as an example. Like they've created a border on that square, maybe not, I can't tell, but you could absolutely make the block
which is exactly
bigger.
What we did for that one we showed for the stores.
Anniversary one.
Yep. So again, here's looking in here. There's 7.5-inch squares. Picking out some extra fabric in there. Let me flip and see if I come back to this one. We have made this one. We did this one last week. We showed it with the Be the Light one.
And you're looking at pretty darn quick 3-yard quilts right now.
This one.
This is the cover. So let's just. That's pretty darn quick.
So this one has several opportunities in it. So that one, and I should have marked all the pages. So there's 3 right in a row that would work on that one. I thought that one was really sweet too. Really cute. So each one of these every book has more than one option in it. That's a totally different look. Not similar to anything else, but would still work because, again, that is, let's see, a 7.5-inch square in here. And a lot of them have 12, so of course you could identify your favorite ones. And maybe it helps to see it in the black and white version so you could see how you can make it really stand out or pop out too.
I'm just thinking, I have a feeling you could probably cut some of the panels on point.
Oh, yes.
Because they would end up, but some of them would even work in an on point situation like that.
So creative opportunity. That would be cool, actually. So, and
let me show the front.
Oh, yeah, I'll show this one. Okay. This one, this is the same kind of thing we were talking about before. If you used this with the points on the edges, and this could be a different fabric, of course, because it's a bigger block in here, but it'd give you an opportunity. So if you had one panel, if you bought 2 basically 3-yard bundles, and then you use the panel in here, I think you could get by, I'd have to check it, but it'd be close to being able to substitute, and you'd end up with 2.
So let's look at the covers of the ones that we're showing. The one on the right is 3-yard quilts on the double. That is brand new. We did not have that here for the opening or our anniversary party. In the middle, pretty darn quick 3-yard quilts, and then the left one is fast and fun 3-yard quilts. We do have a category that shows all of the 3-yard quilt books and any 3-yard bundles that we have. Now, Jami, we have not started pulling fabrics for our 3-yard bundles, have we?
No, not from this.
No. So in a minute, I'm going to put you on the spot and have you help play with that. But there's even one more quilt I know that we've got back here to show again how this is Stellar Stars. This is the pattern that comes in your red bag club bag. This is an exclusive pattern from Celine Perkins of Perkins Dry Goods, and it only is available in the red bag. If you're not a red bag club member or don't know what that is, again, you can go to our website and slash red bag club, and you're going to learn all about it, but we won't take any more time. But this pattern is here, and I'm assuming that you're thinking replace this star with the block, the panel.
That's one thought I had, but honestly, my first thought with this was just using the various fabrics, and not even the panel.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
And this one takes 3, as you see here, 3 different prints, but we did have, I think, was it Minerva that did each block of a different combination.
Yeah, it could be
I think this collection opens itself so well to having some various tones. I love this one. So some beautiful options. So, that's the thing. We don't want to limit your ideas. We want to inspire you to have more ideas. And obviously, you guys share ideas that you have, too, because that's how we all learn and we get better and more things. Ideas.
Yes. Oh yeah, we like it when you guys push us to think outside of the box as well. So let's put Jami on the spot here with her little magical 3-yard. All right, I want you to pull out. I'm gonna cover. Let her work for a second and see what she comes up with. We have. Let's just scan over here for just a second, Stacy, and you can see over here that we love putting together the 3 1-yard bundles. And so there are lots. This is the new Wallflower collection, which is also going very quickly. And we've got Be the Light, which again is another one that's going quickly. Halloween. We've got kind of a pinky and brown look. We've got batiks. We've got things, camping. I'm looking to see barbecue. Over here, we've got, one of the, all you need the fight like a girl, pink, all sorts of different 3 1-yard bundles. And husband say we have working hazards when you have to back up, don't we? And so the 3 1-yard bundles are something that are really fun because it's a great way. And even keep those in mind. One of the things we saw Sally do is that she bought her 3 1-yard bundle because it was quick and easy, right? We'd already done the work for you and pulled out the fabrics, but she ended up making the Terry Atkinson Me and Mom apron because that pattern calls for 3 3/4 yard pieces. And so she made an adorable apron out of her 3 pieces, had a little left over for her stash. So just because you see the 3-yard books and the 3-yard bundles doesn't mean you always have to use them for the exact projects that we're showing. All right, Jami.
Okay.
All right, I've been putting her on the spot to do her little magic.
I love I happen to like the words, of course. And I'm not using up. I'm not putting a panel on this. But what I like about this combination, first of all, the palette of it, very homey, cozy, cuddly. This bottom fabric here, Stacy, I don't know if it even shows through. This one, I love the depth in the blue. So and I love the words and the messages of all these things, memories, places. Now, some people get scared away. This one is not directional. Mm-mm. So that was okay. Now, this one is directional, so you do have to be careful with that. So real quick, I just thought, well, let's look at a couple things.
And do you recommend, if you're going to buy a directional fabric, to get a little extra, Jamie? Because I certainly would.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I would always say that if you're working with a directional fabric and you're not sure which way the pattern is going to cut, which way you're going to go, this would be a time where it never hurts to have a little extra so that you then have the opportunity to potentially lay your pieces in a different way or cut them out in a different way.
Yeah. And so, let's see. I was going back to this one that we haven't made because I've wanted to do this one all along. But I think this could be really cute with using this in your blacks because it's straight. Yes, it's directional, but it's a block, right? So I'm not cutting it in half ever or turning it. So I can make sure I cut it the way I want it to go. Do make sure that you look at the directions before you start cutting to make sure how it says would do. I would use this one. Now I'm gonna switch it around a little bit. I think I would use this one as this and put this as your background.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Is that so? Of course, we always like, you could switch it anyway. Honestly, this could be your background in here, and this could be your secondary block. But I like on this particular case, because I like I personally like the words on each one of those. I want those to be your focus blocks, and then they would kind of pop out from the darker background. Mm-hmm. Just one of a million ideas. If I stood here, Heidi, we could go all day long.
Absolutely.
Which is nothing. Oh, yeah, and this one too. Actually, I really like this one. Same thing on this one. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but this one, I think I would make the chain my darker colors. I'd go back to the kind of what some people
traditional
think.
or what exactly what it looks like.
But again, lots of ideas. Beautiful collection of fabric.
It is endless. And I do think we talked about putting together a fat quarter bundle.
Yes.
Again, we're going to be very limited no matter what we do because we've sold some yardage already. Mm-hmm. So if there is something that you're wanting out of this collection, we'd love to be able to help you be inspired by Bluebirds of Happiness. And
take some of that and apply it to other things as well.
Correct.
You know, Heidi, we even talked about pillows. Bags.
Oh, yeah, because you could do a pillowcase, this be the cuff, and take another piece and it be the little
fancy
little thing. And if you're wondering what you need for yardage for a pillowcase, I always like to think 3/4, 1/4, 1/8.
Yeah.
So that you've got those three pieces as you're thinking about yardage.
Yes.
So, okay, well,
hopefully we inspired them on this Bluebird of Happiness morning to have a happy day, right?
That's right. And oh my gosh, and it's only Monday.
Yes.
And we have got lots of things to inspire you with all week long. So by all means, keep posted here at Hen and Chick Studio. I'm sure we will be back with more inspiration and tips, and maybe singing, dancing, all those kinds of things. So everybody, have a great day.